Gentlemen, we are going to learn how to get 2 dates a week with women that you're actually excited about from Hinge. First, we're going to talk about why your profile currently sucks. Then we're going to learn how to make a 10 out of 10 profile that gets a ton of dates with dope girls. And then we're going to learn how to translate that and actually implement it for you. Now, why should you trust me? Let's switch over to our prospective client intake form. In the last 8 months since March of 2025, I have helped almost 100 dudes. Looks like we're at 99 right now. Dozens of them specifically with online dating. Here's some examples of the profiles I created for these guys. David from Scottsdale, Arizona, came in getting less than 5 matches a week. We 10x that. He's currently getting 50 matches a week, going on multiple dates just from Hinge. Jeremy, software engineer living in New York. When he came in, he wasn't even using Hinge because he thought it was such a waste of time. We built him this profile. Now he's averaging about 15 matches and 3 dates on an average week. Manager at a tech company in Seattle, Washington. In case you thought Hinge was only a young man's game, this dude's in his late 50s, going on between 2 and 4 dates a week just from online. And everything you're going to learn comes straight from my own experience. When I optimized my own profile for the first time years ago, at first I was getting 3 matches a week. There's a lot of fall off between who you match with and who you actually go on a date with, so that was translating to 0 dates a week. You think Isaac was happy? Fuck no, it sucked. I felt like I was wasting time. Once I implemented my optimization method, which is what I'm going to share with you, my new profile, after 6 weeks of testing, it was getting me 22 matches a week, which translated to between 2 and 3 dates a week. And that was just on Hinge, not even counting Tinder and Bumble, which I was also using. Imagine, bro, if you were getting 3 dates a week from each of the 3 platforms, that's 9 dates a week. You're turning down girls at that point. Have you ever experienced the lifestyle of what it's like to be turning down women because you have so many options? Probably not. Let's get you there. First, we're going to talk about why you currently don't get dates. Well, to be frank, the odds are stacked against you, bro, so you got to be very good to succeed. These platforms have a pretty shit supply and demand marketplace when it comes to guys. First of all, there's just more guys than girls. It's classic economics. On Bumble, 2/3 of the users are guys. On Tinder, 3/4 of the users are guys. You're set up to fail from the jump. Second of all, women are more choosy than men. Because they have more options, they can be. They're not bitches, they're just responding to incentives like rational people. Men swipe right almost 50% of the time, while women swipe right below 15% of the time. So what that creates is a dynamic where almost all of the female likes are concentrating at the top of the male hierarchy. In other words, if you want to get any dates on the app, you have to be very, very good. Now, what's the good news? The good news is your profile is not you, bro. Just because someone has a 10 out of 10 profile does not mean they're like a 10 out of 10 male model in real life. In fact, quite the opposite. What matters online is not the same as what matters in person. If you can learn how to optimize your profile, you can leapfrog guys who are theoretically more attractive than you and get dates with the girls that they wish they could have. That's going to require you to see this not as a reflection of yourself, but as an advertisement, a digital asset. Coca-Cola has one product. The product doesn't change. It could run a great ad and have lines out the door wanting to buy Coca-Cola. Or it could run a shit ad and have nobody want to buy it. The drink tastes the same in both cases, but their advertising was better or worse. That's how we want to see this. We got to detach your ego. We got to learn how to make a good advertisement, and then you got to have the balls to actually do it. That means plowing through your fear, doubts, and mental resistance and getting strategic. Most men won't do it. That's why most men fail. If you want to separate yourself, you have the opportunity to put your pride to the side and put the mission first. And that mission is to optimize. Now, what are we optimizing for? A lot of people misunderstand what actually matters on the apps. And the reason they misunderstand that is because they don't even understand what's attractive to women in the first place. People think it's things like height, physical attractiveness, genetics, being buff, having a lot of money, having a good career. Those things all matter, but they're examples of the category, not the category in itself. The category in itself, the overarching umbrella of what's attractive to women, is something I call perceived social value, and we're going to break this down. Social value just means how much do you matter in the eyes of others. Men and women evolved to be attracted to the people that would help them survive and reproduce. For a man, that was pretty simple. I'm simplifying it a lot, but the most important thing was just, does she have a good body? Can she pump out healthy kids for us? So it's no wonder that our brains evolved to be attracted to women with good bodies. The female calculus was a little different, bro. She was pretty vulnerable while she was having the kids and taking care of the kids. So for her, it mattered more than just our genetics. It's not just can we have healthy kids with her, although that does matter. It's also can we provide for her? Can we keep her safe? Can we care for her and the kids? And when you think about that, your mind instantly goes to this idea of the alpha male, the biggest, strongest, the best fighter and hunter. And that's actually wrong again. Because obviously it helped to be big and strong, but two pretty buff guys could easily take down one really buff guy just by being a little strategic and working together. So the thing that actually created power and influence and survival back in the day was not how big and strong you are, but it was how much social sway you had. Kanye West has lost a little social capital since I made this example for good reason, but imagine somebody like a celebrity. That's the true alpha male, not this big buff guy. Because he has the power to influence others. People look up to him. People value him socially. That's what an alpha male actually means when you look at the psychology. Someone with social influence could mobilize others to hunt for him, to fight for him, to defend him and his woman and his kids. So that's why women evolved to be attracted to that man. Now, if you're anything like me, you might be a little discouraged at this point. Fuck, you're telling me I have to be a fucking celebrity and sell out and be this like popular stereotype in order to get women? No, because let's look at this first word, perceived. It used to be that everyone knew each other. There was one dominant culture. It's not the case anymore. We live in countries with millions and billions of people. There are hundreds and thousands of tribes that you can belong to. They each have their own subculture and their own hierarchies. One way to project social value is to be the stereotype with the fucking sports car and all the money and the great job. It works for a certain type of woman. But there's another type of woman who would prefer a guy with more grounded values, who's not flashy. What she sees value in depends a lot on her values and her niche. If you're an artist and you're into artsy girls, you're going to display your social value in very different ways than if you're a gym bro, or if you're an athlete, or if you're a consultant. On top of that, we live in a stranger society these days. It used to be that everyone knew everything about you, but that's not the case anymore. So it doesn't actually matter how valuable you are. All that matters is, do you convey yourself like someone who is? That's what she's going to perceive, and that's what's either going to spark or not spark the attraction feelings within her. So it's not about changing who you are. It's not about imitating the people you see online who with the money and the flashy shit. It's about understanding who you are, what your niche is, what type of women you fuck with, and what do they perceive as valuable, and how can we convey that in your ad. There's 5 overarching categories that apply to everybody. The game is understanding these categories and then implementing them for your specific case. There's 5 signals of social value: pose, expression, setting, style, and social proof. Now let's go through these. Pose. Imagine a king, an alpha male. Would he be standing hunched over, protecting himself from the world? Or would he feel confident and safe in his environment, expanding his chest, having a smile on his face, putting his shoulders back and exposing himself to the world? It would be the second one. The king isn't worried, he's secure. And he moves through the world with the energy that, yeah, I'm on top, I'm not worried about anything, but he also wouldn't be try hard. He wouldn't be puffing out his chest and, trying to make sure everyone saw him as an alpha, because that actually conveys you're not an alpha. Someone who's truly secure in themselves don't need to prove anything to anyone. So they carry themselves with this kind of casual, confident indifference of somebody who knows they're enough and doesn't need to impress anyone. Expression follows basically the same logic. Most guys think they need to smile really big and cheese up. It's not LinkedIn, bro. Unfortunately, when you think about the psychology, cheesing really big shows that you feel the need to be liked. You really want to be liked. And that implies a lot of bad things about us. It implies that we're needy. It implies that we must have no options. It implies that we're not secure in ourselves and really care about the opinions of others. So we want to have more like the confident smirk, the saucy smile. Someone who's friendly and social, but has no need whatsoever for anyone to like him, because he already likes himself. Setting. Where we are and what we're doing implies a lot about us. Look at this background. He's on a boat. He's in some cool place. You think he's rich or is he poor? He's probably rich. Or at least he has means to do cool things. You think he's adventurous or is he boring? He's probably adventurous. Same with this guy. He's traveling. Now here, he's just in the swimming pool, but look where it is. It's not some shitty, lame swimming pool. Looks like this is clearly an affluent person's house. There's a basketball court there. The water's cool. It looks nice. This is clearly somebody who belongs in desirable social circles in society and does cool shit. Same here. It's a nice cocktail bar. This guy clearly is social. He likes to go out. He belongs in these types of environments. Down here, some kind of yacht party. And over here, you can imagine it's like an outdoor bar or restaurant. You got the wine there. You got the fireplace. A lot of guys make the mistake of looking physically good themselves, but having a shit background. Take the exact same photo, but just do it in a place that communicates something positive about you. That could be the lobby of a nice hotel. It could be an art museum. It could be a sports field. Again, this comes down to understanding your niche, what signals value to your type of woman, and then doing it. Number 4 is style. Now again, we want to find the middle ground between two extremes. Lame dudes have shit style. They're not tapped in. They don't get it. They don't put effort into how they present themselves. I used to be that guy. If you're that guy, it's okay. Take this as a wake-up call. Stop being that guy. Invest in your style. The shit matters. But then we've got the other extreme. If you've studied some dating shit, you may have heard of the term peacocking, and this is also bad. Just like the pose and expression, somebody who is secure in themselves wouldn't feel the need to be flashy. They could be if they wanted to be, but they're secure in themselves, so they don't need to impress anybody. In my experience, the outfits that perform best online and in real life are quite stylish, but nothing crazy. Maybe you follow trends 90% and then you have one little accent that shows your own personal flair, but you're not dressed in some crazy shit that says, look at me. Again, the king doesn't need to be looked at. He just naturally is looked at. And if you look at these people's outfits, they're well dressed, but not particularly flashy. Now, the last one is social proof. This is the most misunderstood, underutilized, and actually most powerful of all 5. And I want you to think about a house party. If you're at a party and some stranger walks up to you and says, hey, what's up, bro? Let's be friends. You might entertain him because you're a nice guy, but in the back of your head, you're like, okay, why is this guy so eager to meet me? Like, who is he? You might be a little skeptical. You're going to want to vet him carefully before letting him into your life. Now let's imagine your best friend brings the guy over and he's like, yo, I want you to meet Johnny. I've known him since middle school. He's an awesome dude. You think you're going to trust Johnny more or less than if he was a stranger? Obviously, you're going to trust him more. That's the power of a warm introduction. And social proof gives you a warm introduction to these girls. How does it do it? By showing you that other similarly hot, similarly cool women already vouch for you. If I'm a hot girl looking at this picture, I see 1, 2, 3, 4 attractive women with 2 dudes. What am I inferring about these dudes? They're cool. They're social. They're attractive. They're desirable. They belong in this setting with this type of woman. And importantly, they're not creeps. They're not weirdos. I'm not going to regret going on a date with him. Women are very risk averse in general and even more risk averse online. So it's important that she's not only attracted to you, but feels comfortable and confident going out with you. Look at this one. He's not interacting with the women directly, but just by being there, it shows he belongs with this type of woman. He belongs in the same environment. And actually, a subtle little thing to pick up on is he's not attending to the woman. What does that imply about him? He's used to this. He doesn't care. It's not a big deal for him to be around very beautiful, high-class women. He probably has lots of them, so he's not pressed about it. He's just doing his thing. To reiterate, these are the 5 signals of social value, which is what sparks emotional attraction in a woman when she sees your profile. Your pose, your expression, your setting, your style, and your social proof. When you're in doubt, think, what would the confident, socially validated, and secure version of me do? And then do that thing. That doesn't just apply to online, bro. It applies to in-person as well. Now, we understand why your profile sucks. We understand the theory of how to make it better. Now, how do we apply it to you? The first thing I want you to do is pull up your camera roll, and I want you to select and favorite every single photo that you think even has a chance of matching some of this criteria. Not every photo has to have all 5. You want your 6 photos in totality to convey all 5. It's kind of like a resume or a portfolio. Not every job has to convey every positive trait about you, but when you look at them as a whole, it should give you the full package. So find all the photos that have even a chance of hitting one of these categories, and I want you to put them in a folder. Make sure you're pulling photos from every place that they exist. We want to be starting with the maximum possible amount of ammunition. And then you're going to whittle it down. You're going to choose your starting 6. Don't overthink this. We're going to iterate and test and switch this up so it is not set in stone. Just choose a starting 6 that you feel like is really strong. Put it on your profile and start swiping. 10 minutes a day. Set a timer, swipe until it runs out, and record your matches. It's a little annoying, but the data is important because the next step is we are going to test. If you want to win, you got to get a little scientific. At the end of the week, we're going to make one educated guess, a hypothesis about what change you could make to increase your results. You're going to swap that photo out and you're going to swipe again. If your matches go up, guess what? Your hypothesis was correct. You keep the change and you make another guess the next week. If your matches went down, you were wrong. Doesn't matter. Revert the change, make a different change, and test again. It's called the iteration method. We're zigzagging, testing different things every week, trying something new until we arrive at a profile that really, really crushes. When I first did it for myself, it took 6 weeks to arrive at this version of my profile that was getting between 2 and 3 dates a week. Now let's look at some examples. Let's revisit some of the guys I did this for. First guy is David. He's 28 years old, runs an online business in Scottsdale. I put these goofy emojis over his face to protect his privacy because he's a former client, but you get the idea. Look at this. Social proof. Setting. This guy belongs with hot people in rich environments. Here, you can't see, but his expression is on point. His outfit's good, showing he's a cool, laid-back dude who looks physically attractive. Here, he's at a wedding, he's dressed up well, he's very candid. Candid conveys authenticity, which wins these days. It used to be back in like 2017 that you could just hire a photographer and take like really high production value photos. It doesn't work anymore because everyone can do that. What wins these days is the candid shit, the shit that shows you're authentic and real. Here, what is this? Social proof. Notice the setting isn't even especially high class, and that's an important point. I don't want you to think that the only way to be attractive and show that you're high value socially is to be rich. Like I said, it depends on your niche. He's a sporty guy. He hangs out with sporty sorority type girls. And so a sports bar actually conveys plenty of value for his social circle. Here, he's in a nice restaurant or a club. He's dressed well. He's with a cool looking dude. This is style, setting, social proof, and a good expression. And then here we got, similar to the first photo, hot woman. He's hanging with her, shows that he belongs with women like this in this type of environment. Very, very strong profile. He was getting upwards of 50 matches a week, even more than I got when I did this myself. He absolutely crushed. Let's look at another example. In case you were worried you have to be tall and white to fucking succeed at this, you don't. Here's my boy Jeremy. I'm still working with him, but this is the profile that we built him. He's a good-looking dude, pretty average height, but he's no model or anything, and he's absolutely crushing. He was averaging about 15 matches a week, going on 2+ dates on an average week. And so you can see we leaned heavy into the social proof. 2 attractive girls, bam. 2 attractive girls, bam. 2 attractive girls, bam. 3 out of the 6 photos are social proof. I'm telling you guys, this is the untapped fucking thing right now in dating apps. Everybody knows how to take a professional photo and how to fucking make themselves look stylish. Very few people are leaning heavy onto social proof. That's what's going to give you the edge. And finally, my boy Richard. I'm currently still working with him as well. He's an older gentleman, so we lean into slightly different signals of value. He's not out here partying with a bunch of hot women. We want to show that he's just social in general, living an active, fun lifestyle. That's the kind of shit that women his age are going to gravitate to. You can see he's playing tennis with a friend. He's showing his business acumen because he's a successful businessman. Playing tennis, traveling in Scotland, good headshot. Hopefully now you understand 3 things. You understand why your profile currently sucks and doesn't get you matches with the type of women you want, how to change that and make a profile that is 10 out of 10, and then how to specifically apply it to your situation. If you have any questions, bro, I want to help you. Do not let this just be information that sits in your head. Information doesn't do shit, bro. Implementation. That's where the magic is. Have the courage to actually fucking put this in action. Yes, it means you might fail. It means you might get rejected. If you can't handle failure, you will never succeed in life. That applies to women, business, whatever the fuck you want to do. So it's time to start now. Face your fears, face failure, face potential rejection, because on the other side of all that shit is the fucking woman of your dreams. And at the end of the day, bro, that's why we're here. To get the woman of your dreams by expanding yourself into the version of yourself who can fucking get her. If you want one-on-one help with this, I'm busy, but I try not to be too stingy with my time because I genuinely want to fucking help you guys. Here's my personal phone number. Fucking text me, bro. I'll do what I can to help you.